I was very patient during the live session, but then I missed out on my trade setup, ended up taking two losers, made it all back and then some. Let's see how we did it. All right, guys, so in the daily recap for today, Wednesday, August 17th, 2022, you'll see here on the calendar on my Edgewonk journaling platform that we use here at Trading Futures Live. The 17th here ended up the day green. On the week, 3 losers, 2 winners, but on the week I'm up 2.69 R, up $385 on the day. If we go ahead and take a look, trade analytics. On the day overall, I ended up taking 4 trades. 1 was a break even, 2 losers, and then 1 winner. Totaling $385 end of the day green, totaling 1.38 R on the day. My risk today, my R was about 250 today. I've scaled it down slightly from the 300 on Monday and last week that I was trading. And if we go ahead and take a look at the actual trades, my first trade, a break even. If you guys saw me in the live session, very, very patient, not much going on in the live session. We had this price opened here, tested these highs, chopped around, broke down, came retested, finally did break down, but I didn't have enough profit potential to get into any shorts. And finally, when this reversed back up, this was my trade that I had been talking about, pullback, or a breakdown. But to me, the NQ and the Russell at that point were going to be very exhausted. I have got that on. Oh no, I don't have a screenshot of that. But the NQ and the Russell had been going down throughout the session, and so I wanted to. When I felt like that was going to be exhausted, I wanted to be long here on the ES. And this pivot here, as well as the pivot on the NQ and the Russell, gave me the confidence to get into this trade long. Unfortunately, I missed it. This was my entry. Never pulled back. That's as low as it got. Missed my entry. Took off without me. After it took off, I moved my entry up. My original entry was down here. I moved it up to try and get in. It missed me again. Price continues to go up. I moved my entry up again, so my first entry was here. My second entry was here, never got filled on this pullback. Took off again without me. And finally got in on this 4th entry as I chased price all the way up. I was literally getting nauseous as price was leaving without me, especially on these previous ones. I literally felt nauseous. I was so frustrated. I was extremely patient. Price pulled back. This is what I planned for. If you look at my pre-market analysis, broke down, retest, go long, didn't come down for a full retest, left without me. I was not happy. Not happy. Finally did get filled here. But so I finally did get filled here after this. I actually took that 4th order off. And then when this candle spiked down but closed bullish, I put the order back on and got filled on the next candle. Price did go up. I was up a little bit, but it reversed to break even. Because I had chased price so much in this trade to try and get in, there was no way I was going to take a loss, so I closed it out up a couple, like 2 ticks or whatever. I closed it on this pullback. And eventually the trade technically did work out. I would have gotten to 1-to-1 here. And then after the news would have taken it. It would not have stopped me out with a stop below this pivot. The news did just come and would have, if I would have had a break even, it would have stopped me out break even, which, truth be told, I would have moved my stop to break even before the news if I was going to hold on to this trade. So I would have been stopped out break even. Got scaled out a little bit with 1R, but so break even trade. and it was quite frustrating after planning for the trade and having that kind of setup. So then nothing that got out of that trade at 119 here, and then waited for the news. The news was at 2 o'clock, FOMC. Now, I need to work on staying away from the news until 30 minutes after. Not any news, but the FOMC news. I have a rule that I haven't really had to use in a while, and so truth be told, I kind of forgot about it. Which is to wait 30 minutes after the news at a 2 p.m. FOMC meeting or any type of 2 p.m. FOMC news to wait a full 30 minutes before taking anything. Obviously, I broke that rule, got in at 2:15. Early long after the news, got caught in FOMO, especially when one of my rules is to wait at least 30 minutes after any 2 p.m. Fed news. It's not that the setup wasn't there, but the market didn't have enough time to absorb the move that it made based off of the news. That's why I like to wait at least a full 30 minutes. Gives it 15 minutes to go up, 15 minutes to retrace if it wants to, and then kind of figure itself out. I didn't wait, ended up taking a full loss on this, minus 1R. Let's real quick take a look at the screenshot for it. This was the long here. Price broke out on the pull. It pulled back here and actually took a confirmation entry on this green candle. I didn't get in on the pullback. I waited for the pullback. When this candle closed, I set my order. My stop was below these. This was like the low of the previous 5-minute candle here, which is where my stop was. I was basically never up in this trade. Came, filled my trade, stopped me out here. So that was that trade, minus 1R. And so now I'm basically minus 1 on the day, break even, minus 1. Got into another long very shortly thereafter. This one I got in at 2:36. So it was after the 30-minute candle close, but still too early. I don't even have any notes for this one. If we take a look at the screenshot, this was the trade. This is ridiculous when I look at the screenshot. I got in here trying to go long. It did break out long after that, but I was trapped. I was trapped in a long. It broke out a little bit after my trade and then quickly reversed. What I realized on this reversal and the strength of this 2-minute reversal was this was the last push to the upside and we were going down from here. And when that 2-minute candle closed, that gave me the confirmation and I actually reversed my trade. So I was in 5 contracts long here and got in 5 contracts short here. So I didn't take a full loss because my stop was down here around 42.90 at the bottom of this zone. So I ended up losing about half an hour on this trade and quickly reversed my trade. And now let's go to the trade that I won. So I made about 2 3/4 of an R, almost 3R. But I had to fight for it. It was a news trade reversal. I was able to reverse my long. That was very clearly wrong and lost momentum to the upside. This is a trade that I should have a much better execution with and should have been able to wait for instead of jumping into the 2 previous longs. I should be skilled enough as a trader that I should have been able to wait for this trade. And so I ended up having to fight through this trade. I scaled out, I added back on, I scaled out, I added back on. That's how I was able to get the almost 3R out of it. Because I was fairly confident in this trade on this news reversal. Broke out, and when that candle came back down, reversed it. I actually pushed down, pulled back, not a lot, but it pulled back enough that when that candle closed, I added on 2 contracts there. I was only in for 5 contracts. I had a good amount of confidence in this trade because at this point the internals were now in my favor. The internals were not 100% in my favor at this point. This was like the beginning of the signal of them being in my favor, but at this point they were in my favor, so that's why I was able to add on there. I was then so I got in this trade at about 2:45. This was exactly 3 o'clock, so I scaled out a little bit right at 3 o'clock because I did not actually want the 3 o'clock candle to now shoot to the moon without taking something off, especially since I had added on. So I was originally in for 5. I added on 2. I was in for 7, and I only scaled out 1 contract here, but I did scale out. I had a nice healthy pullback now. And when this 2-minute candle closed below that trend line, I added on again another 2 contracts. So now I was in it for 8 contracts. I was able to scale out here with 4 of my contracts. So now I was only in with 4 contracts. Had another nice healthy pullback. When this candle, not that it closed, but when it broke this 2-minute candle there, I was able to add on there again another 2 contracts. So now I was in it for 6 contracts. Unfortunately, that add-on I had to struggle with a while because now my average price before this add-on was still way up here. It was like the bottom of this zone up here, so still had plenty of breathing room. When I added on here, my average price then came to around 42, like 87, somewhere around here, just above this pivot, but close enough that price could have easily pulled back to break even. Fortunately, it didn't. Price broke down. This was now 3:50 p.m. when we have the crazy volatility spike of the cash close, and so with the 6 contracts I had left, right at 3:50, I closed 4 of them right here. I had my last 2 contracts on, trying to really get to this low down here. But I just didn't like the 3:50 to 4 o'clock candle. That was what it was doing, and so I moved my target, got my last 2 contracts there. I was trying to get a full 3R out of the trade, but I lost confidence, and I had a pretty damn good exit because that was essentially the low of that move. And then price pulled back and went sideways the rest of the afternoon. And so that was that trade. What I'm showing here is the same trade, but on the 5-minute, and just that my add-ons weren't fantastic. I had one of my add-ons here. It was good on the 2-minute, but it was not great on the 5-minute. I could have waited for this 5-minute candle to close and then breaking that 5-minute candle below. But all in all, it was a decent trade that I was able to fight my way through and squeeze out more than 2R to end up plus almost 1.5R on the day. So, in fact, I did end up plus 1.5R on the day. These were the internals at the time of the trade, and as you can see, they had it very clearly reversed in my favor. They had pulled back, but it wasn't until really like this push down and these after breaking the 21 EMA and pulling back that I had more confidence. So this is why I was able to start adding on, was that the internals were starting to like push to extreme levels down and give me signals that this wanted to go down. This is where I got in, pulled back, but extreme lows. And so gave me opportunities to pull back. Same thing over here with the dollar. The dollar, I needed, for me to be short, the dollar had to be going up. This is when I got in the trade. This candle closed above that one, but then the dollar just kept going up from there, so it was good for my short. Same thing with the VIX, was able to get in here, and the VIX shot up for my short as well. And these are the 4 major indexes during my trade, but ended the day positive, which is really all I can ask for. Just trying to add R's, really. Trying to scale up here with my R's. This is just for the 1 day. Let me clear. Let's clear. And, right, I'm still down. I had a rough July, basically, and I'm working my way back up. And so, yeah, that's all I can ask for. Green days, trying to stack R's on top of R's, and watch my account grow. That's the name of the game. Thank you guys for watching. Catch us tomorrow 9 a.m. pre-market analysis. 9:25 we go live. And thank you guys again. Have a great night.